another victim has fallen. I have brainwashed another friend into switching to Linux. Dun dun dun!
Oh, dude, I thought this was a video about Jotun Slayer.
Oh, not again. You're right. All right, never mind. So our game of the year for 2026 is... So this is Will, my community manager, the producer of our wonderful backing track, music, backingtrack.gg, that you can use in your videos and streams and all that jazz, as well as doer of many things.
Yeah.
And apparently recent gaming PC Linux initiate.
Yeah. That's I'm not just on a Steam machine, but I guess I kind of am, but
those aren't out yet.
Sorry, Steam Deck. Pardon me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got rid of that thing, you weirdo.
You're making this worse.
Anyway, why did you do this to yourself?
Well, pause for dramatic effect. I don't know. I got really put off by the focus on AI integration in Windows. I didn't really have like a performance or like anything relating to anything that I'm doing with a computer that made me want to do it. I can see the trend and I just didn't like it. And the easiest way to say you didn't like something is voting with your dollars. So
how much?
I'm getting off of Windows.
How much money did you spend on Linux?
0.
Oh.
But I'm not spending any money on Windows anymore.
Yeah.
And that's a good selling point right there. It costs you nothing to do everything that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. So what did your starting process for doing this look like? How did you get started here? You made that decision that you were Linux curious.
Honestly, I was just looking at different videos that you had posted over the years, and I started with my media center PC because I figured best not to blow up my main desktop since I actually use that for work.
Smart. Yeah.
But my media center PC has what I think is going to be around what a Steam machine is going to be like performance wise. So I just decided to try it on that. I had narrowed it down to Catchy OS and Bazite, more or less based on your recommendations. I know that this thing was 100% going to be just for gaming, so I ended up going with Bazite. There was another reason that I went with Bazite as well, which is I want to try and get my Xbox Series X out of my living room, because that's the other side of why we're doing this. I guess it costs money to use any aspect of Xbox Live now. I was under the impression that if a game has like cross-platform or cross-play, you could at least join a game if you didn't have Xbox Live. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay for Xbox Live or Game Pass or whatever just to play co-op Baldur's Gate 3. I love that game, but I'm just not doing it.
Yeah.
So this machine was intended to replace my Xbox. However, I think what actually is going to end up happening is this is going to be what I'm playing on, and we're still going to get a Steam machine in there for all of that.
Yeah. What's the reason for replacing the Xbox for you? I've been on my anti-Xbox thing for a while, but what pushed you to want to move away from it?
It's not necessarily like a business decision or anything really, because I really enjoyed my Series X. I bought it specifically for some of the backwards compatibility stuff. But a lot of those games are now, actually, I want to say all of them are now on PC, save for like the original Xbox games. Like even Metal Wolf Chaos is on PC. I didn't even know that. Like I didn't think that game would ever come out on PC.
Yeah, they've been like quietly dropping stuff on the Xbox or on the Xbox, Microsoft, whatever store. It's interesting.
But yeah, I think like Red Dead was the last holdout. And that once that came out, I kind of knew it was end of the line. And yeah, it's just, just really shady business moves. Like again, another a focus on pushing AI, less of a focus on making the product good. I don't know. It's a bunch of things, but as far as like the quality of that platform, the quality of that hardware had nothing to do with it. It was really just I want to vote with my dollars. I don't want to put myself on Microsoft platforms, at least for now. And it's kind of seems like there are options out there. You don't have to be afraid.
Fear not. So, Bazite, how has that gone so far?
Initially, just a little rough. Like I would say a little spicy, but we're all good now.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to say I want to say 100% of the issues that I had were probably my fault. But
Classic.
well, yeah. Bazlight goes out of its way to make it super easy for the user to install it. Um, and that is true. I did install it very easily, had no problems. If you can install any modern operating system, you can install Bazlight. It is very easy. But it does have some issues, such as if you have multiple drives, it doesn't like being installed on a system with multiple drives. It will actively try to install across both drives at the same time.
Yeah, this is something you encountered that I have literally never seen before. And I installed Bazite when I first started switching my gaming rig like 2 years ago. And I don't remember that because I definitely had multiple drives. But I have installed Cache OS on like 6 different computers recently. And at least in Cache and most distros I've used, the drive selection is a drop down. You can only pick one drive. But you seem to have encountered, and it seems like based on searching around, this is not a unique thing with Bazite, or like unique to you. It's just a weird Bazite thing where like it literally just is like, hey, you got all these drives. You want to put Bazite on everything?
It treats your computer as one computer.
Yeah.
Like I could not just install it on the NVMe drive that is there specifically for the OS. I couldn't do it. I had to click the NVMe drive and I had to click the hard drive.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Bazite doesn't really work that well on a hard drive, much less spread across 2 separate drives.
Yeah.
But this is all seemingly stuff that has been confirmed and somewhat documented by the Bazite developers, so I can't be that mad about it because it didn't take me long to realize what was happening. So I blew the whole thing away, and then I went into my BIOS and disabled the hard drive, and then reinstalled Bazite on the NVMe drive. Everything worked perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And then I just re-enabled the hard drive. There is still, though, a problem with using a hard drive, even if you're not trying to run the OS off of it. Read times, abysmal. And that is going to dramatically impact your download speeds when you're trying to download something on Steam. I think it took me like a full day just to download 2 games. Like, granted, huge games, that being Baldur's Gate 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2, but
Yeah,
it
those
still
are
took
big
me like a
games.
whole day.
Yeah. This is something like I wouldn't have even thought to encounter because at this point, none of my gaming rigs have spinning drives in them. So I hadn't even thought about that. I am surprised that it's so slow given it's not that way on, Windows, Steam, or whatever. But I also know everything is trying to optimize for fast SSDs these days, and especially something like Bazite. So anyone who is unaware at this point somehow, Bazite is basically trying to emulate the Steam Deck, SteamOS. And so it's trying to emulate that handheld experience. It's got a lot of the what's called game scope, but like the Steam UI that you would have on the deck. And so I think a lot of the optimizations and the configurations are definitely built around this handheld concept. And clearly they've got some weird optimization quirks there that make a spinning hard drive not work at all, which you encounter less and less these days, but you definitely like it's not that unusual of a scenario to have a smaller SSD to boot from and a bigger drive for your games, especially with how big those games are. So I don't know. I haven't encountered that, but I also, like I said, I have moved spinning drives out of my gaming rigs. So
Right. And again, it really didn't take me long to figure out what was happening.
Yeah.
Like, because you just look at the Steam graph that shows the download and then also the installation process. You can clearly see where it peaks when it's trying to unpack the files that it's downloading, and it just can't keep up.
Yeah.
So I would lower the download speed to try and maximize the amount of time that it's actually downloading data, because otherwise it would just hit 0, unpack everything, and then go back up to 100, 200, 300. I should also mention I have gigabit and I'm on Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi 6 downstairs in my living room. I don't really have issues installing anything else. Like if I were to pull Red Dead 2 or Baldur's Gate or Diablo 4 on the Xbox, that would be probably like an hour
Yeah.
for any of those. And those are all 100 gig games. This is very clearly a limitation of that hard drive in there. I plan on ripping that thing out and just putting like 1 2 terabyte NVMe drive in there and just reinstalling everything again,
Yeah.
which that'll be a frustrating experience, but it's not that big a deal. And it is something that has been mentioned online, and it is something that's somewhat documented. I was frustrated for maybe about 20 minutes before I realized what was happening.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing I think with doing something scary like switching to Linux is it feels like you're wading into this like foreign enemy territory and everything seems new and scary. And I think a lot of people are prone to the second there's a hiccup, they just panic and run away. And at this point, computer users have learned some form of troubleshooting skills. You can put that to work the same way you would if you had a new problem on Windows and be able to fix it. But you got to have the like, you got to stay calm, and then you got to approach it rationally and not just freak out because it's something you haven't seen before. And that's, I'm not trying to sound condescending at all with that. Like, that is a very normal thing. But I want to urge, like, you are figuring all these out because you just kind of take a step and are like, okay, what's happening? It's a pretty basic process to get there. You just have to actually take the time to be patient for a moment.
Yeah, and part of the reason that I selected this version of Linux is I wanted something that was a little more turnkey. I wanted it to be seamless, and I also intended to put this in front of my fiance,
Yeah.
who is not a gamer. Like she is just now starting to be one. Like the first game that she has ever beaten without assistance, end to end, is Baldur's Gate 3. That's a huge game to start playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like that said, I don't want to complicate the experience any for her. She's used to using a controller. She's used to using something that looks like an Xbox interface. So I felt that the best thing to do was to put her in front of the Steam OS interface and put a controller in her hand.
Yeah.
And that's been totally fine. But there's just been little quirks along the way, like what we're discussing here, such as like, having the OS pulling from a hard drive was giving me all kinds of problems. Like the network devices weren't coming online. I couldn't load any applications. I couldn't get terminal to start up. Like it was devastating because I couldn't really triage anything. Thank God I had my phone and also a functioning PC, or I might be a little stranded on that one.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of the takeaway is everything's very fixable. Everything seems to be very explainable if you just take a few moments to document what you're experiencing and look it up. And then once I got everything working, it has been fantastic. It's been very seamless. The only thing that I can't quite fix is the actual SteamOS interface is very stuttery and laggy. I'm positive that that has something to do with the hard drive that's still in there, and once I swap it out for an SSD, that should go away. So right now I'm just kind of running it in desktop mode, but everything works as I would expect it to work. Like I don't have to futz around with drivers. I don't have to mess around with different versions of Proton. I can absolutely do that if I want to, but it just all works, which is I think what a lot of people want.
Yes. They absolutely do. What, I mean, obviously, if you're not being able to use the big picture, the game scope user interface, that's kind of a hang up. But assuming that wasn't laggy, what do you see that you're like interacting with day to day that might be a hiccup for, say, passing it to your fiance?
It's really the performance thing, and again, I know that that's, and I specifically mean the performance in that UI. Like
Right.
it's just a little stuttery. But aside from that, like she really enjoyed how it did look so much like the Xbox interface.
Right.
Game cards forward, ads pushed way to the back unless you're looking for store stuff. Like that whole thing was very comfy for her. Like if that's the thing that you're worried about, like you feel like you're gonna be like kind of fish out of water. It's really not. It's fine. Like they have done an excellent job of doing a good gaming focused UI. And that's kind of from top to bottom too. Like I wasn't expecting the clipping feature to work and also be good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty solid now. It launched really bad, but they've been working on it.
Yeah, I posted a clip in the Discord like a couple of days ago, and I was just like blown away by how good that looked. I was expecting it to just be kind of trash, but
Yeah.
it's as good as, if not better than Shadowplay,
Dude.
which might be giving it too much credit or not enough credit. The Shadowplay is not as good as it used to be.
Dude, Shadowplay had like 4 to 5 years where I was a champion of it again. Like when it first launched, it was amazing. It was a lifesaver. And then it kept getting buggy and quirky. And then for the through 2020-ish through last year, it was like the best tool. I would argue it was the best piece of software I used on a daily basis other than say like Resolve. And then the past year, it's even recording Horizon just last night on our little TV PC. Like it just keeps stopping randomly. It just like the first 30 seconds of the video is all messed up. It's a train wreck. So for those listening at home, if you're looking for the alternative on Linux, GPU Screen Recorder available through Flatpaks is a replacement for Shadowplay that works on all 3 GPU vendors and is better than Shadowplay in almost every way now.
I have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Although I'm really happy with the Steam version.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And especially if you're actually in the like Steam OS kind of UI, I don't know that it would work. You'd want to use Steam's thing anyway. So what games have you been playing so far through the OS?
So Baldur's Gate 3, that's getting played. Runs exactly as I would expect it to. I am going to say up front, I am targeting 60 FPS at high settings at 1440p for everything. That is just what this machine is capable of, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
It does have some texture streaming issues. Again, hard drive. That seems to be the culprit for all of my problems right now. I'm also playing Diablo 4. Really looks fantastic. I have most of the settings actually dialed up to ultra on that one, but same experience, 1440p, locked, rock solid 60 FPS. Load times, little but really not that bad. Red Dead 2, Red Dead 1. I've tested out Jotun Slayer. I don't know why I keep like this is now the second Linux system that I've like just thought to pull this for, but I pulled Kakarot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gravitating towards open world games just to see like if I can force out any weird performance struggles or anything like that. And
Right.
basically everything is just running perfectly, aside from loading issues.
Right.
Aside from the one thing that I really need the read speed for, but it's not like causing micro stutters. Like it's not causing prolonged texture streaming issues. Like it's maybe, I don't know. Like if I fast travel in Baldur's Gate, it's maybe 3 seconds of texture pop in, and then like I can go into conversations, I can go into combat, I can queue up spells. No amount of particle effects causes any kind of frame rate drop. I can get the camera in as close as I can, pull it out. Like, I'm really not having any kind of performance issues that are not loading related, which again is a system specific thing to me. And it's, I mean, I would recommend this to anybody.
Yeah.
Like I think my initial fear was that this was not going to be anywhere close. Like I was going to be dealing with like maybe 60% of the performance of what I was getting on Windows. And it's just not that at all. It's got to be, I don't know. I can't really put a solid percentage on it, but it's got to be like really close. Like not quite 1-to-1, but really close.
Nice. Aside from, you mentioned the game clipping feature, has there been any other good surprises that you weren't expecting that has kind of stood out to you?
You mean like specifically with just being on a Linux system again, or?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a cop out, but it's not related to to being on the Linux system itself. It's kind of reawakening a part of my brain that I haven't been using for a long time. Like part of the negative to having everything be so user friendly and just dumb proof is you don't really use a critical portion of your brain to triage and troubleshoot things when you have problems. You just kind of hope for the best and hope the developers can fix it or something. But in this case, I couldn't really rely on that, and it didn't take long before I was like using critical thinking to fix this system. Like,
Right.
I know that sounds so crazy. Someone's gonna hear this and think I am like an idiot or something. I just Windows has made people dumb.
Yeah. I mean, not wrong.
This system has absolutely made people dumb. They've made it so that you don't really need to think too much, and I understand the appeal of that. You know, you don't want to think too much about it, but I think we should start thinking a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the bigger surprises is how easily it all comes back. Like you load into your desktop and your network card doesn't work, and your first thought shouldn't be, "Oh shit, I gotta buy a new computer."
Yeah.
It should just be, "Why didn't this come online?"
Yeah.
And then you get into the logs, you see that the device isn't enabled, you can see that it has no network information, even though you've put it on your network, and you know for a fact that it can actually connect to your network. Like it all just comes back very quickly. Like you shouldn't be afraid of Linux because you think you're going to get stuck in some tech hell where you can't find a wiki or a GitHub or a random forums post that's going to explain your specific problem. Because I don't think it's really going to happen.
Right.
I think it's so well documented now that you're just going to be all right.
Speaking of that, have there been any specific resources you find yourself coming back to with regards to kind of troubleshooting that stuff? Whether it's a specific forum or website or anything?
The Bazlight website
Yeah.
and all of their documentation, it's fantastic. I would say the only thing that I really it doesn't even count because it was mentioned. It was mentioned that it has issues on hard drives.
Right.
So I just the only thing I did there was mess around with download speeds to confirm it. So like yeah, really just Bazlight themselves have it really well documented. I will say though that this is a special version of Linux. It's not quite full, like it is full Linux, but it's very containerized and it's very tailor-made to do one specific thing. So if you do need like a more robust desktop experience, you're probably going to be looking elsewhere.
Right.
But for gaming, excuse me, do that again. But for gaming, I don't think you can beat it.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Sweet. What do you want someone to know? If someone was like, "Hey, you just did this thing. What should I do for it?" What would you tell them?
Really, it's easy. It's really easy. It's not scary anymore. Like, the thought I had was I'm not going to be able to play like half my library, and as we have both discovered, our collective libraries is like 3,000 games. That's a lot of games to not be able to play. I don't want to make my experience any more frustrating or complicated than it currently was. I
Right.
want to make it easier. I want to make it better. I want to remove bloat. It's kind of all of that. Yeah, if you're willing to put up with just a little bit of inconvenience, you can free yourself from having to rely on these, legacy operating systems, and you don't really have to worry about compatibility anymore. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna blow smoke up your butt. Multiplayer games not gonna be on the table for a lot of these.
Right.
And I specifically mean the Call of Duties of the world.
Yeah.
But like, if you play Counter-Strike, Counter-Strike works great. Hell Let Loose, which is what I play, that also works. And I've been on a quest to get through my backlog. I want to beat every game in my backlog, which I'll probably do when I'm 85. And I feel like I can actually accomplish it. Like I don't feel like being on Linux is going to hinder that quest at all.
Right.
So I guess that would be my message to to anyone that is thinking like, is there an option? Is there a better option? Is there something else that I can use to get me off of Windows? Yeah, you can use Bazzite.
Yeah.
And maybe sometime down the line, Valve will release like their brew of SteamOS, and maybe you can just do that. But this is really, really solid. Don't be afraid of it at all. You shouldn't be. It might give you a little bit of problems, but it might also be completely fine. It might be perfect just for you.
Hey. All right. Well, thanks for chatting with me, sharing your experience. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add. Sweet.
I have one other thing to add.
Okay.
Still don't like LibreOffice.
Really? What don't you like about it?
I don't know, man. It's stuff that that's all comes down to, I've been using Office for 20 something years, and stuff that I want to be in the same place is not. So that's it's really not like anything like functionality wise.
I expected, like, I've used OpenOffice before and LibreOffice like off and on over 20 years probably at this point now. But I've always like had access to Office, so I've just kind of used it. But once they started putting the freaking AI prompt right on your blank documents, I immediately switched full time to LibreOffice. And I can't say there's anything there's one thing I miss, and since I still technically have an activation, I don't have Windows anymore, so I'm not using it anymore. I had an extension for Excel that only worked on Windows and only for Excel that would allow me to export my charts as like high-res PNGs that I used for benchmarking videos, but I don't have access to that anymore anyway because it didn't work on Mac. So so yeah, I don't have anything I miss at this point. So that's interesting. I haven't really run into anything show-stopping there. I have been struggling to get used to Proton Docs system compared to Google Docs, but
Yeah, that's the other thing I'm shifting away, but that's probably a conversation.
That's a whole separate discussion.
That was the thing about LibreOffice was very on the edge, but that is like the only thing that I'm just whatever. And until Microsoft decides to fully ruin Office, which it sounds like they're very close to doing.
What do you mean? Office doesn't exist anymore. They even nuked the Twitter account.
I know.
It is Microsoft 365 Copilot app, and you can download Microsoft 365 Copilot document creator.
Listen, all these operating systems and applications that are pivoting to like closed subscription-based platforms and shoving AI in them, just stop using them.
Yep.
Like, just if you keep using them, they're going to keep doing it. And that should be your takeaway from this whole video. Just don't give them power.
Yeah.
Keep your power. Do what you want. Don't do what they want.
That's been the coolest part, is seeing how like easy that choice has been for everyone. And that's been kind of comforting, because it's felt like for years there's been this push to use open source stuff, to use Linux, to do whatever. And
it was scary 5 years ago. It's not that scary now.
It was kind of scary, and now people have like a real reason to, and they're making it work anyway. And that's really reassuring.
Yeah. Even if you're on NVIDIA, which like we all know, NVIDIA doesn't work as well on Linux.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I promise you. My system's NVIDIA based. It's NVIDIA and Intel based, which apparently is two of the worst things to have if you want to build a Linux machine. And it works great. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, links to some helpful resources to get started will be in the description. I'm doing a similar video with my wife where I'm walking through every step I'm going to do on their computer to take note of all the programs installed, to back up save files, to back up data, and reformat it and install Cache on it, and whatever questions she has as we go. I think that will be really interesting to see from someone who's never really messed with it at all. So that'll be a follow-up to this. Stay tuned for that.
I'll tell you what, after you're done with that, I'll be switching my main desktop over, and I'm probably going to have to be doing some VM stuff to maintain compatibility with a couple of my applications, but because I do work from home, and I need this for work.
Right.
But that is the end goal, is to get my main desktop. Probably not on Bazzite. I'm looking at Cache, and I'm looking at Pop, but I don't know how I feel about pop yet. That was just someone's just suggested it to me.
Yeah, that's been the big one that was originally pushed by the System 76 people, which are like a company that makes dedicated Linux computers. I'm at this weird point where even though it was the newcomer recommendation for decades, I avoid Debian things altogether because all the optimizations for new hardware just is smoother on distros based on Arch. So I'm like, CachyOS is so easy now that there's no reason to, but anything that looks more comfortable to someone trying to pick out what they use, go with it. You will make it work.
Well, maybe we can talk again after I switch over to my main desktop because that's going to be a little bit more involved. That's definitely going to cause. I know that's going to cause me some issues. I got to learn a new. Learn a new NLE. I got to make sure all of my audio workstations work, all my plugins work, and that's before I even get to the actual work stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that
So,
part. Yeah, I'm not so sure about.
we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna back everything up, and I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I think I can just VM it, and because I have like 128 gigs of memory. Thank God I did that.
Yeah.
Like, because wow,
Yeah.
$1,000 for 32. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but thank you so much for talking to me, man. Like,
Thank you.
I hope more people become radicalized after this.